The reason that you have trouble embracing who you really are is because somewhere in your past, in some life experience that happened to you, you unconsciously picked up the belief that I am not enough or that I am not good enough. And so you started associating this part of you with pain and fear. Fear that you will be judged or disapproved of or disliked or rejected in some way if you are authentically being yourself. So today in this video, I want to teach you how to start truly embracing who you really are. And if you stick with me through the end of this video, you're going to learn how to embrace the parts of you that you dislike. You're going to learn how to start operating from a place of being good enough, of feeling good enough, instead of interacting with the world from a place of not being enough. And you'll learn how to start living fearlessly as yourself. Because that's really what embracing who you are is, just living fearlessly as yourself. And this video is going to get in deep. We're going to talk about the work that sometimes is uncomfortable and most people will not do, but it's what's going to make all the difference. So if you are really serious about change and embracing who you really are, then this will be the necessary work that if you will do, I'll guarantee you it will make you some changes. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Justin. I help people break through to their authentic selves. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button and share it with someone who might need to know this kind of information. Okay, with that being said, let's get right into the video. So the reason that I feel comfortable sharing or talking about how to start embracing who you really are is because I dealt with a lot of this stuff in my past. This is my story. In my past, I was riddled with insecurity. I put up masks of being cool or trying to fit in, and I was constantly validation seeking. I was constantly seeking for external approval. And it wasn't until I started embracing who I really was, doing the work that I will describe in this video, that things truly started changing for me. Today, I have never been more confident in my life, not in a cocky way, but not in a cocky way where I'm trying to pretend to be someone else, but because I feel really good about being myself. And this is the foundation. It's not about working on your confidence. It's about working on being who you are, because in being who you are, you're naturally confident. And we have associated pain with being who we are instead of pleasure. And if it was more pleasurable to be who we are, then we wouldn't have any issues embracing it, right? Does that make sense? So that's going to be the foundation of it all. So the first part of this video, we're going to start talking about how to embrace the parts of you that you dislike. Because that's really what this is. It's not embracing the parts of you that you already like, because chances are you're already embracing that part of you. So you might have heard the term shadow work, and I'm not going to get too technical on the terms, but shadow work, if you want to go really deep on this stuff, is probably something that you might want to research, because essentially what we're going to do is we're going to get deep down into the parts of us that we dislike, the parts of us that we've unconsciously suppressed or rejected, and we're going to integrate it back with who we really are. And that's the foundation of this kind of work. A good analogy that you can think of how this work works is, imagine you have a flashlight and you're shining it on the darkness. And the flashlight is your consciousness, the flashlight is love, and you're lovingly going through your darkness and shedding light on it. You're looking at it through the filter of unconditional love. And I'm going to be getting into how to do this in a second, but I also want to explain why this is important, because we can never truly embrace and love who we are if there are still parts of us that are hidden in the shadows. Because the parts of us that are hidden in the shadows are hidden in the subconscious mind. And these are the parts of us that are truly running the show. They're the parts of us that are running our mind, and really running our lives as a result. And until we become aware of this, until we become conscious of what's right now unconscious, we can't truly make any change and we can't truly embrace who we are. So that is the why we're doing this. Now, how you do this is pretty simple. We start with a question. And this is the most effective way that I have found. And you can either do this in journaling or meditation or both. I find journaling is really helpful here. But the question to ask yourself is, what do you dislike about yourself the most? I'll repeat that. What do you dislike about yourself the most? And as you're answering the question, all we're doing is shining your flashlight on the darkness. You're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to suppress anything, but you just want to answer the question. You just want to bring your awareness to these parts of you that you likely haven't explored ever or in a very long time, since you've taken on this idea that you're not good enough. Now, as you're answering this question, I don't want you to hold anything back. That includes what you're actually writing. Put it all out there, everything. Even if there's parts that you're ashamed of, or feel guilty about, or anything, you have to put it all out there. If not, this isn't going to work. I also don't want you to suppress any of your emotions, because part of this is releasing the stored emotions, the stored energy that have been trapped as a result of us rejecting or suppressing these parts of us. So again, we're not trying to change anything. We just want to be aware of what we've been hiding. And as you're doing this work, we often start bringing judgment into it. And I want you to take out judgment. And I'll explain how you can do this. Doesn't matter what's happened in your past or whose fault it was or why it happened, but all I want you to do is look upon these parts of you with love, like you are looking upon a hurt or abandoned child, a child that needs love, a child that needs attention. And you're just looking with love. You're helping with love. You're not judging. You're not judging this person's past, and by this person I mean you. You're not judging the things that have happened, but there is a wounded child, an abandoned child there that needs your attention and needs your awareness. So look upon these parts of you with love and not judgment. As you're doing this work and you're shedding your awareness, you're shedding that flashlight upon the shadows and the darkness, what we're doing is we're reintegrating these parts of us with the light, with the consciousness. However that looks like for you, whatever that means to you, make sure you are thinking about reintegrating these parts of you. And again, there's nothing you need to do, there's nothing you need to change, but observing with love these parts of you that have been hidden for so long. Okay, so that's the first part, and I can go on and on about this kind of work, about shadow work. Again, if you are really interested, do your research. There's so much on it about the subject out there. And if you want me to do a separate one-off video on just shadow work and go really in depth with this kind of stuff, let me know. I'm open to doing that. You can just leave me a comment below, and that way I'll know it's something that you are interested in. So far, we've laid out the foundation for what is really a healing journey. When you start embracing who you are healing the parts of you that you've disowned, the wounds associated with being ourselves. Now, as we continue to heal and do the deep inner work, we need to start shifting from a paradigm of I'm not good enough, and maybe I need to seek for other people's approval, or I need to prove myself to the world. I need to prove to my parents or my friends that I am good enough. We need to shift from that paradigm to a place of naturally feeling like I'm enough. To feeling like I already am valuable. I already know what I'm worth. And so I don't need your approval. I don't need your validation, even though you can take it on if people are still giving it to you, but I don't need it. And I also don't need to prove myself to you. So we have to shift to that paradigm. For me personally, I remember in my past, I was operating from this paradigm that I don't feel good about myself inside. I don't feel like I'm enough. And so I have to prove myself to the world. And not only that, I started taking on this fake persona, this mask. But I was looking to the external world to tell me that I'm doing a good job at not being myself. It's pretty absurd when I reflect on this and think back. But in the moment, you're not conscious that that's what you're doing. And so maybe this is something that rings true to you, or maybe sounds familiar. Something you're doing is, are you not being yourself and looking for approval that you're doing a good job of not being yourself? Because we need to be aware of these things. So the key shift that we want to make here is changing from, can you please tell me that I'm doing a good job at being this person? Please tell me I'm likable. Look at all these things that I've done. Please tell me that I'm good enough. So we want to shift from that to, I already feel good about myself inside. Say that right now. I already feel good about myself inside. See how that changes things already, just stating that. Because that's the truth. You're getting closer and closer to who you actually are, which is a powerful being that feels like it's enough. What we have also done from that first paradigm is we've given up our self-worth to other people to take control over how much we're worth. So how I pictured this is, I imagined that I handed out little pieces of my self-worth to other people. So here's a piece for you, here's a piece for you, here's another piece for you, and I just handed out all these pieces of my self-worth to other people so that they hold the power to telling me if I'm worthy or not. I give up all my power to the external world in little pieces. So now as we're shifting into this paradigm of I already feel good about myself inside, imagine taking back every little piece of self-worth that you've handed to other people, that you've handed to your parents or teachers or friends or exes, boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever, just society as a whole. Take those pieces back, every single one, until you've taken every single piece back and you've brought it back home here. Because the only way you can operate from a place of feeling like you're already good enough inside is by being the only person ever that could determine how much you're worth. That's you. You are the only person ever. It's called self-worth for a reason. It's determined by self. And the only reason that you don't feel worthy is because there is a story that you've told yourself about why you're not worthy. And that story is not true. That story could have come from real experiences, but it's still just a story that's not true, and you've given up your power to other people. So what happens as a result of when you bring back your self-worth here is you let the external world be. You stop giving so much importance over the external world because you've realized that it's really in here that matters. Anything could happen out there, but that's fine. That's the external world, and you've already decided that you're not letting that decide for you how much you're worth. So you let go of the external world. This doesn't mean you become a bum and hide from the world. It means that you just stopped giving it so much importance. You still interact, you still do the things you need to do, but you've decided that only you can decide if you're good enough or not. That person is you, and that's not in the external world, that's in your internal world, that's in here. So far, what we've covered is the healing journey that you need to embark on, and that's the foundation, that's the shadow work at the beginning of the video. We've covered just now the paradigm shift that you need to switch over to. And now we're going to cover the only missing piece here, which is how to live fearlessly as yourself. In the beginning of the video, I said that the only reason you aren't embracing yourself is because of fear. Living fearlessly as yourself is another way to say that you are self-confident. Now, what is true self-confidence? It's being yourself fully and at the same time being completely okay knowing that people will not like that. It's knowing that people will still judge you, people will still disapprove of you, people will still reject you, people will still not like you, not be attracted to you, not like the way you look. Yet, it has nothing to do with the way you feel about yourself. And this is where freedom comes into play. Now, a way to do this is simple. We have to just understand the difference between what's your business and what's my business. Now, if you don't like me, if you reject me, if you can't stand me, if you disapprove of me, that's your business, actually. It has nothing to do with me. That's your business. And we cannot take it personally. Now, your business is a result of your own programming, your own past, your own traumas, your own life experiences, your upbringing, and so on. So why should that have anything to do with me? What other people think of me is not my business. I want you to repeat that right now, actually. What other people think of me is not my business. That's their business. And so the reason that we get caught up in approval seeking and giving away our self-worth is because we have this backwards. We think that what other people think of me is my business, which isn't true at all. Now, my business is, what do I think about myself? Do I like me? Do I approve of me? Do I accept myself, regardless of what other people think? That is my business. And again, how most people get this wrong is they confuse what's their business with someone else's business. So stick to what is your business and don't worry about other people's business. It's not your problem, or it's not anything to worry about. And you can let go. Let go of this baggage of other people's business that you've been holding on to your entire life. Now, what happens when you start taking all of these lessons to heart and put them into practice is what I like to call authentic expansion. You're expanding into the true version of who you really are. And when you do this, life starts to get magical. This is where you start feeling so free within yourself that natural confidence is just who you are. It just exudes from you naturally because you're not working on your confidence. You're confident because you're being yourself already. And that's the most natural thing in the world. Your relationship with yourself becomes authentic because you've already done the work. You've already looked deep down into the shadows and you've done the work to shed your light upon everything that's down there. So you know who you are through and through. You've healed those parts of you. You've taken back the self-worth that you've given to the external world and you've given it to the only person that matters, which is here in your external world. You stopped worrying about other people's business, and you've only started taking control of your own business. And so it's this ever-forward march, this expansion, this ever-forward expansion into authenticity, into who you really are. And the beautiful thing about this kind of work is that you cannot go backwards. Once you start expanding into authenticity, you cannot go backwards. And that's the difference between when you work on your confidence, you can always go backwards. There's ups and downs when you work on your confidence. But when you start being yourself naturally and letting go of whatever was holding you back in that place of hiding and those masks and those place of low self-worth, when you let go of all that, you can't go back. So that is the beauty of all of this, authentic expansion. And that is also the name of my coaching program. I do coach individuals on these practices. So if that's something you are interested in or want to go deeper on, let me know. There should be a link in the description on a way of getting in contact with me and doing a strategy call so we can see how we can customize this type of teaching to you and your life personally. So if that interests you, feel free to go ahead and visit that link. But that is really it, guys. I hope that this video brought you value. I hope this video opened up your eyes to what is possible when you let go of giving your importance to the external world and go within, because that's all that ever really matters. I am forever grateful always to people who are watching my videos. It is a blessing for me to share these teachings to other people and start impacting different people's lives, start changing the world. And if this video brought you value, if you like this, again, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend. That way these teachings can get to more and more people. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.